What's going on, guys? All right, so I don't even know how to make this video. So anyway, we um, we got like bad news that we already kind of knew, but there's been a bunch of stuff in the family that's been going on, and basically her mom wants to have us move out of the house here and either move in or sell it or something like that, and was complaining that we've had enough time to save up money. And so basically, it's kind of like nothing surprising or shocking, but her mom has a creepy boyfriend that I don't want around my kids, and he's like 71 years old, and she's like, I don't know, how old is she? 55, 56, 60. I don't know. He's like way older than her. And he claims that he can't drive. He claims that he can't do anything, and he makes her do all this stuff for him. Meanwhile, she's taking care of her senile mother down there in Sun City. And so basically, she's been down there since uh, 2019 taking care of her mom. And she decided that she needed to have a boyfriend because her husband died. Elizabeth's dad died in like 2014, I think. I don't know. I'm gonna get yelled at for not knowing this, but uh, 2013 or 14. No. Anyway, somewhere around that time period, and she's just been like lonely and complaining that, and she would go to these AA meetings with her mom, but she's not an alcoholic. And she would meet these really weird guys. One of them was a cross dresser, the other one was some weird pot smoking sleaze bag that was like renting out Airbnbs to young girls and then showing up at the Airbnb and running around in a scooter at Walmart. He was a real piece of shit. She would pick these fucking kind of people, and so this latest one looks like a pedophile, and he looks like he's on death's bed. He claims he can't fucking drive. He claims he can't do this. He can't do that. I was down there seeing the guy. He's perfectly functional. He claims that he can't drive because he can't see, but he doesn't actually wear glasses. And he's full of shit. And he's been making her wait on him hand and foot. She tried to kill herself a couple of weeks ago by giving herself too much insulin, which we know what that is. She's trying to get attention. And so things are really bad down there with that crap. And then this guy thinks that he's going to come up here with her and come live with us and my three kids. And I'm not okay with it. Like, sure, it's her mom's house. And she pays the mortgage on it. We pay everything else. But we have not had the chance to save up a bunch of money because uh, between the kids and like, I thought the YouTube channel was going to take off, and it actually just didn't. But anyway, so we got this little message about this shit today. It was just like a message. And I was like, okay, well, I see what we're going to end up having to do. So I went and sold like 5 or 6 guitars down in Phoenix for like $900, and sold my 1000 MP to my friend Dave for $650, and came back home. So I'm gonna start selling shit because we need money to fucking get out of here. And I don't know exactly how it's going to go down, but I'm going to try to take my time and get rid of as much stuff as possible, and without like losing everything, you know. So, um, but we're not really sure where we're going to end up going. But I was looking at the cost of rent in Washington State, where I'm from, versus here, and it seems like it's on average $200 or $300 less. Like we were seeing like 3-bedroom apartments for 1,400, where here they're like 18, 16. But the other thing is there's more job opportunities up there, and the pay is much better. Here, as a mechanic, I'm looking at $16 to $18 an hour, and also Walmart pays about $18 an hour to start here. So there's no way I would want to even work at a shop here in the heat and the hot, and in the winter it's cold here. But myself personally, the reason I quit working, I worked from like 2017 to 2019 when we first moved here, and I'm like, I cannot fucking deal with the fucking heat. I can't do it. So anyway, I quit. But in Washington, I don't have a problem with the heat. It doesn't really get that hot there usually. I mean, I went years without even having a car that had air conditioning up there. So it's very liberal there, and I kind of don't like that. But at the same time, like, there's lots of things to do up there. Amateur radio is way bigger. There's actually local people that talk on CB radio. You know, you got parks, and you got the beach, you got the ocean, you got the mountains, you got like all this stuff, like within less than the distance of driving to Phoenix. You know, and job opportunities, and better deals on cars and things like that. I've been trying to move out of here since we got here. But anyway, so I guess I'm just going to be selling stuff off. I'm not going to use the channel to do that because I won't ship anything. So unless you're like local here in Arizona and you're willing to drive up to Prescott or meet me somewhere, you know, within reason, I'm not going to ship something. Sorry, I'm just not going to. But I've got to get rid of a lot of stuff. And I think it comes down to like kind of choosing like, what am I going to keep? Well, I don't think I'm going to keep any of the tube radios. If shipping wasn't so expensive, I'd probably send a lot of stuff to my friend Kevin. And I might set it aside, especially if we're going back there, just to bring it to him. But it's been a long day. I drove down to Phoenix to go sell all those guitars at Scottsdale. And I tried to sell them here locally. And the guys were like, oh, we just don't have the money, you know, or whatever. So I went down there and they bought all the guitars. I didn't quite get what I wanted for them all, but they bought them all at once and gave me a check. And so we have a little bit of money for when we need it. And also, I wanted to jump on it now because what's going to happen here, as soon as they cut the food stamps, and they may cut Social Security also, there's going to be people trying to sell a lot of stuff everywhere. And so the places are going to be like, sorry, we won't buy those guitars because we've already had all these other people come in and sell their stuff, and we don't have any money left, or we're overstocked. So I decided to take care of that today, and I still have like, I sold my Made in Mexico Telecaster. I sold my 1982-83 Mako. I sold my Korean Squire. I sold my 2001 Squire SE, and I sold the Kramer Farrington guitar and a case. So I have like these ones here left, and I think there's an Ibanez over here. Um, I'm not sure how many of them I'm gonna get rid of. I definitely don't care about this one here, but it is scratched and chipped, so I don't know. This one is technically a parts caster. I'm gonna guess they would give me 100 or 150 for that Starcaster. Just because it has a Seymour Duncan and a Fender bridge in it, but maybe not. The guy at the local guitar place told me today that the Squire SEs, he said that they had American necks on them. I'm like, what? Yeah, he's telling me the Strat Pack Squires used an American neck. I'm like, well, then why does it say made in China on it? So this is basically one of those. I've got a Squire version of this guitar, which I have stainless steel saddles ready to go. So maybe I'm just gonna keep a couple, and then I've got to deal with the guitar amps. I really like the 6260. It's got EL34s in it. The Tri-Rack Infinium, I'm gonna sell that. It's a cool amp, but I don't use it. It doesn't really sound amazing. The PV 6505 Plus 112 is really fucking heavy, and it's about the size of a 212 amp. So I've got a crate cab over here, and I've got this homemade 410 cab. And I've got like pedals and stuff. So there's no way I can take all this stuff with me, but I'll have to decide what. And I've got that and that and that. Some of these stereos are straight up getting dumped. The FT102, there's two of those. I really kind of like this 920, and I don't have a lot of money into it, and it works pretty good. In fact, I like it better than the 1000, and it runs on 12 volts. So the 1000 ran on a power supply, 20 volt, but you could, if you wanted to, run it off 12. But I think the 920 is a pretty damn good radio. And also there's an issue with possible display going out on the 1000. So I'm just going to have to try and decide. And then I've got all the computers up here that, like, I don't know. I should put one of these together for Jim. And next time I go down to Phoenix, just, like, get a hold of him and, like, here you go. Set him up like a really nice Windows 10 IoT enterprise. And, like, give him a dual boot or something. I thought about that. And then, let's see, so, and actually this is another computer right here. I'm going to have to list this one for sale. It's a little Nova, but it's not like fast. It's an i3, but it is an all-in-one computer. And so I've got that, and I've got an Apple iMac. Like, it's going to take us a while to get rid of this stuff, but the good thing is they have to fight over the house down there and sell that house before it becomes a actual impending problem. But they I don't know if they have to do it first or after, but grandma, and I call her great grandma, it's the kids' great grandma, has to go into assisted living. She fell down and got hurt. She's in rehab right now, and she actually can't even walk. So I don't know what the hell they're thinking, but they've decided that she's not coming back home, and she wants to go back home. But these medical places, her mom doesn't want her to come back home, and like basically she's pooping all over the floor and stuff like that. And so um my wife's mom doesn't want to deal with it. She can't pick her up and clean her. So she can barely take care of her own self. That's the other problem. And then she's taking care of her fucking loser ass boyfriend who claims that he can't do anything and he's perfectly functional. He claims that he was dropped on his head as a baby, and so therefore he can't drive and he can't take care of himself. So, and he's helping her spend all her fucking money, and then she's not paying all the fucking bills. And nobody asked her to give us internet. That was on her. But we also got pieces of paper in the mail saying the mortgage hadn't been paid on time, or this hadn't been paid on time, and then the internet got shut off that she offered us. You know, it's like, what the hell is going on here? I pay all the other stuff. I pay the water bill, I pay the power bill, I pay the garbage bill, and of course our car insurance and all that. And we've actually got 3 vehicles, and basically my 2 trucks are on their last leg, and the Tahoe that she drives is probably on its last leg too. So we've been just kind of scraping by for a while, and I've been buying stuff at the thrift store and flipping stuff. And I flipped a couple of Marantz for $300, but not enough to get ahead and not enough to compare to working at some minimum wage job. But anyway, at one point in time, there was like, I would do a live stream and get thousands of views in a couple hours. And so I thought, wow, okay, my channel is really doing well. Last year, maybe a little bit longer than that, we would get about 2,000 new subscribers a month. And so I went from like 1,000 subscribers to like literally 5,000 subscribers in a real short amount of time. And then next thing you know, we've been sitting at 10 for a while. But now I get maybe 175 subscribers a month, not 2,000. We went from 2,000 to less than 200. And so you can see why I thought the channel was going to start producing. And so the channel makes about $150 to $175 a month. But there was some times where I was doing so well. They get $300 or $400 from Amazon. They get like $250 from YouTube. You know, I was like, wow, okay, we're doing good. And then all of a sudden, I thought I got myself in trouble by just like saying the wrong thing, but they slammed the brakes on it. So, that's where I'm at with stuff. I got this toolbox. I got to clear this thing out of here. You get this thing fucking sold. I've got my service cart toolboxes. And I got, I'm going to have to sell this thing. Forgot about that. Here's another service cart. It's a Blue Point. But the welder, yeah, it's going to have to get sold. So, I don't know how much this thing's worth. I paid $500 for it. It does do aluminum and everything. So it's got the high frequency thing in there. The diesel heater. I'll probably just leave that here. The air conditioner, I'll leave that here. I got toolboxes and just tons of shit. So, like, trust me, guys. I'm in a world of hurt, trying to get rid of shit. All the servers, old computers that I love to play with, several 3D printers. Let's see, I've got 2 Creality Ender 3s, a Sobel SV07, an Elegoo Neptune 4 Pro, an SV06 Plus. I'm not going to be paying for a storage unit. I'm going to sell things. And we got a couple of rather large telescopes. I would rather not, like, give this one up. Because everything's there. I have This is a 10-inch, I think. We have a 6 and an 8-inch telescope also. But yeah, I don't want to get rid of that. That would suck. So, but lots of power tools, chainsaws. I'm gonna clean these up, try and get them all running. I don't need. I've got a couple different ones, but I've got 2 Stills and 2 Dolmar Makitas, and then I have a pretty new Husqvarna 372 XP with a big bar on it. And actually the Husqvarna would work really good for me with the 20-inch bar. So I'd probably maybe keep like a ground saw. It just depends. But believe it or not, cutting firewood in Washington is kind of not a big thing because they don't really. I don't think you can really get the dead and down permits like you can here in Arizona. So I'm gonna be selling these Drakes. I hopefully can get around to fixing the transmitter, but there's no way that I'm gonna keep these. It takes up this much room, and I was talking to Dave about that earlier. But in the Kenwoods, I've got to get rid of those. The Kenwoods are actually good to go, other than a little bit of drift. This 101 is needs an alignment. We tested the tubes, and the tubes are actually full output in the other radio, but they're low in this radio. So maybe I'll make a video on that in the next few days. The Hamfest is coming up Saturday. I really don't want to drag a bunch of stuff over there because I don't really feel like it's going to sell. I've never actually sold any radios for a reasonable amount of money at a Hamfest. So, and when I see that people buy at the Hamfest are actually like stuff like the 920s. When Clark had a bunch of newer radios, he had a 920. A 7200 actually didn't sell. He sold an 891 and a 991 and something else really easily. So these don't sell at a Hamfest. Yep, I don't know. If I was closer, I'd just go store it all at Kevin's house and say, okay, play around with it, and then get rid of it or buy it from me. You know? So, this one's in pretty good shape. I'm going to keep, ultimately, I'm going to keep one of these. It depends on the circumstances on how we end up moving. So, if we have somewhere to go that is kind of secure, which we possibly might, if we have room to store stuff, then I don't know. We'll see. It just depends on what's a priority. I think these have got to fucking go like ASAP. I can just put some shitty ass throwaway speakers here. In fact, I've got some Sonys that would be perfect for the job. So, and I need to get this turntable sold. And, yeah. So, I got a lot of stuff to do, guys. And it ain't going to be fun. So, stay tuned on the channel. I'll try to keep putting content out. But, yeah, I'm up to my ears in crap. So, I'll catch you guys later.